Introducing The Greenhouse with your host, Biggs Outdoors.
Welcome to The Greenhouse, episode 8 of the Real Wrestling Show blog, I think. Basically what we do on here is we run through AEW Elevation, AEW Dark, Dynamite and Rampage will then be done on the Real Wrestling Show blog main screen. So yeah, going to run through the matches. They were okay shows this week, so running through them quickly. Yeah, kicking it off, Sky Blue vs Emi Sakura. Very good match this one. Emi Big Swing was quite nice. Lulu attacks Sky Blue. Don't know why that was all about. Eddie Kingston's making a big thing about Lulu all the time. Nice step in Hurricanrana off the top rope by Blue. Spinning leg lariat plus a diving crossbody by Blue was quite nice. Super kick by Blue was nice. Tilt-a backbreaker. Tilt-a-whirl backbreaker. And then the pin by Emi Sakura, but then she pulls her up. Queen's Gambit finished, which is twisting side flatliner is what I called it. Yeah, it's a pretty good match this was. Emi Sakura wins and I went with Sky Blue, man of the match. Next up we had a promo, basically advertising for Full Gear, the next pay-per-view coming up, so anybody who wants to watch it, check it out. Next up we had 2.0 and Daniel Garcia versus, stupid name, One Man Thrill Ride. Not much of a thrill ride because he didn't even get a move on. Justin Carino and Shane Stetson. I believe they're all making a debuts bar Justin Carino, but I could be wrong on that. Double Russian leg sweep and a missile drop kick combo by 2.0 and Dan. That was quite nice. Rope choke drop plus the sharpshooter, which is 2.0's finish and Daniel Garcia's new move. Sharpshooter, blah blah blah. Daniel Garcia and 2.0 win. Daniel Garcia, man of the match. Next up we had Marco and Fuego del Sol versus Spears and Wardlow. Bit of a strange match this one, but obviously Fuego and Marco are probably going to get most of the crowd reaction on this one because they're tiny guys. Fuego, flippy bit, then mocking Spears was quite nice. When I say flippy bit, basically evading a load of the moves. Lifter power slam by Wardlow was sick as fuck to Marco. Even the internet went mental, but what you got to remember is Marco weighs like what, four or five feathers? Spears mocking Fuego because of Fuego mocking him earlier on. Marco moving out the way of Spears. Double dive at Wardlow. Double DVD by Spears. Power bombs by Wardlow. Casualty of war by Wardlow. That was pretty much it. Spears and Wardlow win. Wardlow man of the match. Next up we had the debut of Luis Bruno, who was quite a hefty looking beast, versus Lance Archer with the return of Jake the Snake Roberts. Bruno goes for Jake early on in the match. Lance cannonball off the apron. Blackout finish. That's all I've wrote. Lance Archer wins. Lance Archer man of the match. Next up we had Davy Ian versus Abaddon. Not a great reception at all. They need to do something with Abaddon, like maybe when she's fighting is bring the lights into a red tint. Something on those lines, or maybe put a spotlight on her opponent so she always knows where they are. I don't know, something a bit creepy, but to be honest, Abaddon's got a good little gimmick, but it doesn't seem to be being followed very much. Yeah, at Abaddon it's her DDT leg thingy, and Abaddon wins. Abaddon man of the match. And then we had a promo, and it was the Gun Club, basically saying we're overlooked and we're going to do what we keep doing best, and that's not lose. Yeah, it's good little turn for the Gun Club. Next up, we had O'Barian and Kodama making their debuts versus Proud and Powerful. There was absolutely no point in this match whatsoever. Proud and Powerful win, Santana man of the match. Next up, we had Becca, spelt B3CCA, versus Chris Statlander. Chris Statlander looked very good in this match. She typically did what she normally does. A couple of her moves, blah, 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 whatever. But the crowd wasn't really reacting. But again, there was not much point to this match. Statlander just stepped all over her. Statlander wins. Statlander man of the match. Next up, we had the Acclaimed versus Colin Delaney. That's right, Colin Delaney. And Cheech making his debut. The Acclaim, or Max Caster basically says Colin Delaney looks like the real Slim Shady with his blonde hair, and says that Cheech looks like he's a cock because of his bald head. I don't get that. Stiff kicks by Bowens on the apron. Twisting, spinning neckbreaker on the ropes by Bowens is absolutely sick. Also does it on Dark. It was a pretty decent match, this one. But again, the Acclaim do what they do. You know, the mic drop, blah, blah, blah. Couple of moves, run of moves and whatever. I've lost my way. Bowens and Max Caster win. Bowens, man of the match for me. Next up, we had the debut of Rachel Nystrom and Elijah Dean versus FTR. Big rig, finish, job done. Cash man of the match because he literally did a tiny bit more. Basically, they come out, did their move, finished. Didn't even take their jackets off and shit. Yeah, FTR win. Next up, main event of Elevation. We had Sonny Kiss versus KM. Now KM, I remember from Impact. He was with Sienna. He wasn't that good then. He was a lot better than what he was before, but still, he's not that great. Half Nelson twisting power slam by KM was quite nice. Nice roll tie up by KM. It was like a choke type move. Consadora face plant by KM. Split stunner for the finish by Sonny Kiss. Shitty move that is, man. There's no impact in it at all. Sonny Kiss wins. KM man of the match. After the match, Kayla Rossi comes out. Joey Janela goes to hit Sonny with a chair, misses. Sonny then goes to retrieve the chair from outside the ring because it falls out. By the time he gets back in, Joey's out already, and then he just slams the chair down on the mat. It was an okay show. Too many squash matches with too big of names. Like FDR, for instance. They just literally come out just to show their faces for the crowd to pop. That was it. There was no more to it. Same with FDR. They literally did the big rig and that was it. It was just pointless. Like, what's the point? Get some greens vs greens. So moving on. Now we are going to go on to Dark and talk through that again. This was an okay show, this one. I can't remember how many matches there were. Quite a few. So yeah, kicking it off, first of all, we had The Pinnacle versus Austin Green, Dean Alexander, Baron Black and Aaron Fry. Not sure if Austin Green's making his debut as part of the Factory, I believe. Fry getting the better of Dax nice early on. Nice to see that. One of the green ones getting a one up. Green tie up by Wardlow. Well, they both tie up. Yeah, Austin Green and Wardlow, they both tie up. He starts overpowering Wardlow, which is good to see again. Baron slide play to Wardlow when he got his back turned. Cash falls through the ropes, trying to make the save when I think his Fry goes for the pin, and as Cash leans through, he just loses his balance and kind of bashes his face on the mat. Wardlow fucks up the catch to I think it was Baron Black. But basically Baron Black jumps forward, he goes to catch him and kind of dump him, but that doesn't happen, he falls back. And then, anyway, turns it into like kind of a throwaway scoop power slam thing. Not great. Fry hitting the short spring elbow. Barely connecting, but nice bit before. Right, that's what that meant. He basically hits the elbow drop and he has to reach his arm right out to kind of, well, he puts his arm out actually to hit it. So that wasn't very good either. The bit before it was quite nice, so don't know what that says. Something power slam by Cash, big rig, and then the casualty of war, and then the C4 for the finish of the match. Pinnacle win, and I win with Fry, man of the match. He was pretty good in this, so it's nice again to see a green one getting man of the match. Next up we had another promo for Full Gear. Then we had Abaddon versus Valentina Rossi. Not much to report in this one. Sick leg DDT by Abaddon for the finish of the match. Abaddon wins, Abaddon man of the match. Next up we had Michael Martinez and Very Morales versus the Acclaimed. His bars were pretty good again this week, but nothing special. Hurricanrana by Very, the second one, had a very cool delay where when he went for the Hurricanrana, it was almost like his momentum of his body was like kept close to his opponent's body, therefore kind of adding a bit of a whip at the end of it. That was quite nice. Max Caster stumbled on the rope when he runs up like Kurt Angle, and then Very Morales improvises and then a nice big missile dropkick. That's quite cool. Spinning, twisting DDT, like I said, in elevation by Bowens is absolutely incredible. And then a mic drop finish by Max Caster. The acclaimed win, I won with Bowens man of the match. Next up, we had Cal Hero versus Sunny Kiss. I thought it was Cal Hero's debut, but it isn't. I think apparently he's had 4 matches or something. Sunny showing a lot of frustration early on because Cal Hero was kind of one-upping him. Corkscrew kick by Sunny was quite stiff. The split stunner, not a great finish, but a finish nonetheless. Sunny Kiss wins. Sunny Kiss man of the match. Next up, we had Zida Zhang versus Chris Statlander. One little side note on this: on the little advertisements they put down here in the corner, you had Hangman Page there, basically advertising for the 17th of November. So yeah, he'll be back soon. Nice kick by Zhang after a few suplexes, and then basically Statlander shows like a bit of might in this match to try and get the crowd reaction to her favour, but it doesn't seem to be working, man. They're very flat on the women's matches at the moment. But she hits her with a spider crab, which is an absolutely awesome finish. Basically, she gets her legs trapped in between her own arms and her opponent's arms, and then underneath her own legs, and then it's kind of like the walls of Jericho on the side of her neck over there, like. So that's pretty cool. The Zhang is pretty good though. Look forward to seeing her again. I know it wasn't her debut, but she's pretty good. She's got a good look, got a good vibe. Next up, we had Maddie Rankowski versus Sky Blue. It was a good match, this was. Well, I say a good match. I think I was anticipating it a little bit more because obviously Blue Sky trended on Twitter, and I was like, oh, what's that all about? Like, it was a little bit underwhelming for what I thought she trended for, but nonetheless, pretty good, really pretty good. Maddie hits a scissor kick, that was quite nice, and then she screams at someone in the crowd. Don't know what that was all about. If anybody knows, comment, let us know. Shouting, say that again. Maddie looking very stiff after that point then. Diving crossbody by Blue. Fisherman suplex finish by Blue. Sky Blue wins. First win for a Greenie vs Greenie, I believe, as well. But I went with Maddie Rankowski, man of the match. Definitely sign up Sky Blue. She is very, very, very cute, and I would imagine that all the young kids would really like her. Next up, we had Anthony Henry making his debut, ex-NXT and a few other places, versus Eddie Kingston. It was a bit of a boxing slap match to start. Figure 4 Dragon Screw by Henry was quite sick. Henry jumps at Eddie on the guardrail, that was quite nice. Figure 4 Trap by Henry, then stands up, that was sick, but then he did a bridge after that, and that's a bit shit. Slap and kick fest by both. Pump kick, and then a stiff DDT for the finish of the match by Eddie Kingston. It was a great match, this was, but the only problem I've got is Henry got too many big super moves, like the ankle lock, the crossface, the figure 4, the sharpshooter, do you know what I mean, the Boston Crab, the camel clutch, the walls of Jericho. He got them all. Like, have a couple of moves, man. You're not a fucking superhuman. You don't even look superhuman. You don't even look half decent, to be honest. Like, you just look like any other wrestler. But yeah, by having those too many moves, I feel like he was just like, oh yeah, this guy thinks like, oh yeah, the best moveset is to have everything much. I mean, maybe someone should tell him. I did put Anthony Henry as the man of the match just because it was his first time. He was pretty impressive, but like I said, too many big moves. Eddie Kingston does win the match though. Next up, we had Hunter Knott and Rosario Grillo and Cameron Stewart versus the Gun Club. They got new music, that's pretty cool. Very 80s kind of psychedelic-y electro pop. Stiff clothesline by Billy, making a statement. Big strikes by Billy. Well, big strike by Billy when his opponent's down on his knees. Austin taunting the other lot. Grillo doesn't know how Austin Gunn's move goes, therefore forcing AEW to edit the footage. Looked absolutely fucking pants. But then Austin Gunn is then edited into going for the pin. Even though the way the guy fell to the floor, he probably got checked for his neck and then repositioned. And then whatever. But yeah, terrible finish to the match. The Gun Club win, and I went with Billy, man of the match. Next up, we had the debut of Santana Garrett versus Diamante. Nice arm tie by Diamante. Diamante misses the drop kick in the corner. Stiff clothesline by Garrett. Terrible kicks by Diamante in the corner. Slice bread finished. Santana Garrett, man of the match. Diamante, wins. Next up, we had Peter Avalon and Not Dolph Ziggler Nemeth versus Varsity Blondes. It was an okay match, few back and forth, flying clothesline, Pillman finish. Pillman man of the match. Getting bored of Pillman now. Next up we had Eric Lockhart versus Daniel Garcia. It was a squash match, sharpshooter finish, Daniel Garcia man of the match. Next up we had Serpentico versus Marco Stunt. Another strange one, but I think, again, entertaining for the crowd this one. Bit of fun. Marco over the top dive, over the top ropes early on. Serpentico gets thrown into the guardrails a couple of times. Luther screaming at Serpentico to do the flying snake. When he did so, then he misses it. Gut wrench suplex by Marco. Looked as though he was going to shit himself with the amount of strength he had to use to do it. Marco then does a dive through the middle rope. Luther throws Serpentico off the stage at Marco. Marco moves out the way. Luther attacks Marco. Roll up by Serpentico for the finish. It was a pretty good match, this one. Serpentico wins. Marco, man of the match for me. And then we will go on to the main event of Dark, which we had Nick Comoroto versus Orange Cassidy. Orange pushes and then it kicks. He's like, oh, hit me, and he goes, hit me, you pussy! So yeah, that was quite funny. Como hits a heavy body slam, that was quite nice. Como running into the turnbuckle at full speed, that was pretty sick. Como dive out the ring, again at speed, and then Orange something, and then an Orange dive. The Factory and the Best Friends fight. QT in the ring starts. Stat throws a leg brace to QT Marshall, and then Orange turns the referee around and is like, oh, check this out, like. So he's kind of in a corner, like, puts it down on the floor. Could have been better than that. QT then gets out the ring. Orange punch ×2, and then the beach break to Nick Comoroto for the finish of the match. Orange Cassidy wins. Nick Comoroto man of the match. And that is all we've got for Dark and Elevation. Like I said, we're going to keep them short. We alternate doing it. So this week it has been me, Big Z, my co-host, the Drozmeister. He's not here this week. He's working. So, yeah, that's it. Everything I got. Catch you next week. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. And check out all the other videos online. Bye!